everything will change. Everything has changed.
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we're headed to the world of Last Epoch. EHG has dropped the quality of life updates and it looks like the cats are running out of the bag. Almost everything has now been dropped. We're just waiting for the patch notes, hopefully coming soon. We're going to be talking about skill updates. We're going to be talking about passive updates, ward updates, blessing updates. There is so much in this post, and I will be live tonight on Aaron Action RPG on Twitch, going over all of this live and doing my best to answer all questions. Also tonight is the Town Portal podcast with me and Frosty LaRue, where we will be hosting the community manager from XD, talking all things Torchlight Infinite. Their new season is on the 4th of July. Okay, let's jump into this. Harbingers of Ruin, quality of life, and more. And this is a huge post, so I plan on doing as little reading as humanly possible, but I will link it in the description. So we're going to start with mechanical changes, and the first one is blessings. Now, they told us that this was coming, and I honestly didn't know it was coming to this degree. This is something that I wasn't able to fully test, but ultimately you are now going to have a blessings codex. This is the best way that I can describe it. And when you unlock blessing options from killing a boss, there's going to be a new NPC right here in the end of time where you can switch out your blessings based upon options given to you, not just selected. And the most awesome, the best thing about this is that if anybody has any alt characters, this will also work on alts, which means if you have unlocked a perfect rolled blessing on one character, technically it'll transfer to the other. You do have to level up that alt. You still have to kill that timeline boss, but technically they are shared amongst their account, which is so awesome. There's nothing more frustrating about getting an awesome blessing and then trying a different build, and then you got to grind out the new blessing, and then you want to go back, you got to get it. Now, once you have it, it's yours. Monster quality of life. We've been asking for this forever. Codex for blessings. And again, there's a lot of stuff in here, but that's ultimately what it is. Moving over to ladder improvements. Now, for all the racers out there, there is a new ladder coming to Cycle 2. And normally we have an ladder based upon arena and waves cleared. That is still here, but they are adding a ladder for leveling. So if you are trying to race to 100 and you are trying to time yourself, there is now a speed race for leveling. I don't know how many people are going to care about that, but they have now added their second ladder. Monolith timeline search. You will now see when you are in the monolith, these little symbols up here. And what you can easily do is you're racing to 100 and you want to see all your little experience books. You can click on it and it would highlight it just like you would see inside of a skill or a passive. Puts a little ring around it so you could see it, or you can just manually type into the search box sets in this example. So just a nice little quality of life for searching your massive web in the monolith. Okay, you with me so far? Blessings Codex, new leaderboard for racing to 100, and being able to search your monolith. All right, we're just getting started. Loot filter improvements. So this one I'm going to read just a little bit so you can see how they're offering new loot filter options. You can now have a condition for boots to show if you have a movement speed tier 6 or higher, and then add another condition to also include at least a tier 5 or higher dexterity, vitality, or strength, for an example. So you can now add multiple affix conditions. All right. And I think there'll be some people happy about this, but this is the one that has been asked for since Legendary Potential has joined the game. You can now include the much requested Legendary Potential and Weaver's Will filtering. Enjoy. Yes. Coming in what? 7 days? 6 days. You will now be able to filter Legendary Potential and Weaver's Will and add another affix condition. So improvements to the loot filter. Item faction changes. And this is the one that is that has some contention. This post came out 50 minutes ago, and I'm already reading stuff that is just, I don't know. I feel like people just look at it and immediately get upset, but don't take their time to read it. Anyways, let's break it down. Merchants Guild and COF are both getting 2 more tiers, which means instead of rank 1 to rank 10, it is rank 1 to rank 12 on both. All right. Now, for the Merchants Guild, there is no new something you're getting. They've just split up and extended the ranks. So immediately people are like, great, we get nothing new, but I couldn't even get to rank 10. And now I've got to rank to 11 and 12. That is insane. Also, who cares? Because you never, buy or sell legendary gear, which I think is also silly because Weaver's Will, once they add an affix, they become a legendary. And that is the main thing that I am normally buying and selling is Weaver's Will's items. That being said, even though they are adding 2 ranks to Merchant's Guild, you are still going to level faster to 12 than it would take you to level to 10. Okay, I'm going to say that one more time. They are improving the speed in which you gain levels, and they are improving up to rank 12 the amount of favor you get. So you will be able to achieve rank 12 in Merchant's Guild or COF quicker than it took you to get to rank 10 in Cycle 1. Huge improvement for Cycle 2. Okay. Now, I know some people are saying we just need a whole update to merchants. I don't necessarily agree to that. Obviously, there's things they can do, but that is the update for merchants. Now, moving over to Circle of Fortune, we're going to read through the ranks because these are a little different. So tier 1, enemies have a 35% chance to dropping twice as many items, unchanged. Rank 2, 45% chance for Runes of Ascendance to preserve when using an item that requires at least Circle of Fortune rank 1. Unchanged. Rank 3, whenever an idol drops, there's a 25% chance for 2 or more at the same time. Unchanged. Rank 4, when a set item would drop, the whole set drops instead. Previously rank 9. So the whole set dropping is now a rank 4, which honestly makes a whole lot of sense because people still use sets for leveling, but not endgame. So it makes sense for them to reel that into a lower rank. Rank 5, 35% chance to double the item rewards from the monolith, unchanged. Rank 6, affixes are 50% more likely to be exalted, previously rank 4, so 4 has moved to 6. 7, exiled mages drop twice as many experimental items. Here is one of the new tiers coming. Rank 7, uniques are twice as likely to have legendary potential, previously 6. Rank 9, T7 affixes are twice as common, previously rank 7. Rank 10, this is also new. Bosses have 150% increased drop rate for any specific rewards they have. New. Specific rewards refers to any items dropped by that boss. For example, Ravenous Void dropped by the Husk of the Elder Gaspar. Bosses applies to all unique enemies that display a boss health bar. Rank 11, items that would drop at rare have a 25% chance to become exalted, previously 8. And rank 12, prophecies grant twice as many items, previously rank 10, changed formally, items prophecies are duplicated. So that is the update to COF. Now, whether you want to admit it or not, it doesn't matter to me. At least players that play MG and power between the two factions, they are trying to catch up COF to MG. So just keep that in mind. That's why you're seeing tons of updates here. The Gaze of Orabis. To all those people that love pushing corruption, you are gonna like this. Now, ultimately, this is all these paragraphs. I'm gonna hit you with what's important. Gaze of Orabis at 4 stacks will now provide 48 corruption. Previously, to get 48 corruption, it required 10 Gaze of Orabis. On top of that, if you die to a shade fight, instead of losing all of your Gaze of Orabis, you now will only lose 1 stack. So huge quality of life. And honestly, this is a feel bad moment when you are playing. You've killed the boss 4 times. You've got 4 Gaze of Orabis. You go into the Shade of Orabis and you die. And all that work is gone. Now you will only lose one. So huge quality of life. I think that is an absolutely fantastic decision. On top of that, you will now also get Gaze of Orabis, even if you are not the party leader. So previously, if you're in a party of 4, only the party leader actually gets that. And now as long as you have the required stability, you will also get that to help pushing corruption with a party quicker. Again, huge quality of life improvement. Class changes. Now this one, I know a lot of people are excited for. All right, we're going to go over basically new skills and new passive trees. Now, right off the bat, if you are a fan of channeling skills, right? Elemental Nova, Disintegrate, pick your favorite channeling skills. Back in the day, I guess currently right now, you could not regen mana when you were channeling. That has now changed. So you can now regenerate your mana simultaneously while casting a channeling skill. That way you're not punished for having mana regen on your bar. It was kind of this weird where once I run out of mana, I need to be able to get it back quick. So you'll take a skill like Focus, or you will stack tons of mana regen. And it does feel like a punishment because you can only use it when you're not attacking. That is now done, and you could spec into mana regen. Again, all channeling skills got a huge buff. Now, skill changes. Disintegrate, and I'm not trying to be over the top. There is no new skills for Cycle 2, but they might as well be. Disintegrate is going to feel completely different. It might as well be a new skill. This has been what I have tested, and it has been so much fun. It has been so much fun. Now, previously, what they talk about here is in order to make Disintegrate work, you had to use the head and Gambler's Fallacy. That is no longer the case. And they're saying even though that will no longer work, Disintegrate is getting a whole bag of new tricks. The base damage to Disintegrate has been increased from 15 to 24, and added damage effectiveness has moved from a modest 300 to a generous 480%. This is going to be one of the first builds, but not the first build we will be testing for Cycle 2. Lusomancer, every 2 seconds you spend channeling Disintegrate, you gain a stack of Lusomancer up to 2 stacks, and each stack for 4 seconds. Stacks refresh when you gain a new one, and this is global multiplicative damage based upon your Ignite and Shock chance, and global mana refunded. You've got Hyper. Disintegrate deals more damage multiplicative based on your max mana. You have Flame Vent. When you stop channeling Disintegrate, you cast Fireball at nearby enemies twice per second spent channeling, up to 6. So that means if you are spec'd into the Fireball tree and you channel Disintegrate for 3 seconds, when you let go, you will shoot 6 fireballs based upon your tree. It's a lot of fun, especially for the people that like Fireball. Frosty LaRue, that one was for you. Shield Bash is going to feel like an entirely new skill. Now, Shield Bash is one of actually kind of a newer skill. I think it came out maybe a year and a half ago, maybe a little longer now. But everyone always we were all excited for this to come out. And then I was like, oh, we basically use it to stun enemies. Not anymore. Shield Bash can now be set as a damage dealer. And Shield Bash is getting an update on its actual tooltip. You're getting Flurry of Blows. Shield Bash no longer has a cooldown, but costs significantly more mana and no longer has a guaranteed stun or ignite. This has been updated. Force. Shield Bash has added melee damage based on your block effectiveness. So you stack block effectiveness, which keeps you alive while simultaneously gives you more damage. Shield Storm. Shield Bash now has increased attack speed scaling with your block chance up to a maximum. Again, scale block chance, keeps you alive, and gives you technically more damage by being able to attack quicker. And then another skill that I don't know if a lot of people saw this coming. So Shield Bash is going to feel completely new. Disintegrate's going to feel completely new. And a very, very old skill, Avalanche, is going to feel completely new. People are going to love this. People love it when one skill can trigger another skill. Here we go. New tooltip for Avalanche. And again, this is the stuff we will cover during the live stream more in depth. Stun chance, but here's the big one. So Excavation. Avalanche hits have increased chance to stun. Additionally, the impact from large boulders have a chance to create your upheaval toward the nearby enemy. This consumes mana equal to the portion of upheaval's mana cost. Yes. Avalanche can now trigger Upheaval. Upheaval can obviously be made cold, and Upheaval can be turned into a totem. So now what you can have is your Avalanche is making stone gold elementals while making Upheaval totems that are all cold. Or just regular Upheaval. It's going to be very fun to play with. Improve Avalanche's base critical strike chance. When a larger boulder critically strikes, that is a chance to drop a small boulder at the same location. So now you can make multiple boulders. Stormcaller. Boulders hit have a chance to grant you a storm stack. More for storm stacks in the future. Okay, so those are the skills. And again, this is not all the changes coming. They are just highlighting the big ones. Shield Bash, Avalanche, Disintegrate. But I promise you there is more that you guys will see during the patch notes. Okay, passives. Sorcerer is getting a host of new passives. And again, Judd, the game creator, the director, the founder, the top dog at EHG, his favorite skill is Meteor. I feel like Judd is not going to stop until Meteor is #1 meta, which I'm totally fine with. Let's look at some of these. Spark Charge chance with 40 mana cost skills, 100%. Spell damage, chance to refund 20% of mana. So you've got high cost skills, Meteor. Mana refund cost, Meteor. Mana Shell, ward per second based upon max mana. Increased area and elemental damage. And then mana spent gained as ward. This is like 5 updated nodes for Meteor. Perfect. Forge Guard, everyone's favorite. 5 new passive threshold nodes for Forge Guard. Now, Shield Crafter, we've already seen this. This is going to be able to buff your Ring of Shields and your minions, and you can manually cast Ring of Shields based upon your block. You've got Critical Strike multiplier per 2 strength with 2-handed. You've got Master of Arms, parry chance while dual wielding, increase attack speed while dual wielding, frailty. Lots of good stuff in here if you are not a minion Forge Guard. Then you've got Minion Armor Shred, Regular Armor Shred, and Minion Increased Attack Speed on 20 mana cost skill. Drop your Forged Weapon, boost your minions. Perfect. Javeliner, Throwing Attacks Critical Multiplier, and Throwing Crit. A lot of these we've already seen that Mike has leaked. Forge Guard is getting some love. I believe this is the last one, and I know a lot of people want to hear about Shaman. Swirling Maelstrom. So this is a node we already have. Endurance threshold per Maelstrom. And again, these are the kind of things you're going to be seeing to kind of boost endurance percent, boost life to try and compete with ward as well. And don't worry, we will get to ward. Shattered Heavens, cold damage, minion cold damage, frostbite chance. Avatar of Thunder, shared spell lightning penetration per attunement. That's a really good one for Shaman. Iron Bark, health armor, health regen per attunement, totem stun immunity. Gift of the Skies, increase attack speed, cast speed, dodge, and totem frenzy duration plus 3 seconds. Okay, there's Shaman. We are now moving over to the ward balance. And ultimately here, this one's going to be a little more difficult to explain. And it's funny, they put this like very interesting graph. So in a nutshell, lower ward amounts under 10,000, you will be able to maintain that higher. And really it's ward below 4,000. But if you are a hybrid player, so you're using endurance, you're using life, and you have some ward per second. Maybe you're sitting at 1,800. Maybe you're using it more like an energy shield, so it takes a couple hits, and then your other defenses kick in. You are going to be in a much better place, because what they are doing is you're going to have a much faster decay when over 10,000 ward. That is basically what this new formula means. So if you are spec'd into low life and you have 20,000 ward. If you've got 20 or 30,000 ward using Healing Hands or pick whichever one you want, that stuff is going to fly down, and it's likely going to make you not as tanky. So they have a new formula for ward, and I'll just read a little bit right here. Trying to be a bit more readable, and for those of us that hate math, the changes here is going from 40% of your ward per second to 20% of your ward per second, plus 0.005% of your ward squared per second. This means normally lower ward generating builds such as ward per second or hybrid ward health builds will now be able to maintain their ward a little better, but if an outlier crops up, the base formula will help limit its impact. So what they are saying is that us, extremely smart action RPG players, when we go and break the game and find a build that has 20,000 ward, as you ramp up how much ward you have, it is going to fly down quicker based upon its decay. So we'll see. And in this, they wanted to be clear. The biggest thing we want to clarify with this is that this formula change is not a full-on nerf, which I think is true. Because again, more ethical, I don't know if that's the right word. The people that are trying to use ward as it's intended are going to feel actually better. And the people that are trying to use exploits, it's going to feel worse. So we will leave it at that. And that is everything. Harbingers of Ruin is dropping on the 9th. That is 6 days away. We have a brand new community event that I will be unveiling later this week. It is going to be a treasure hunt event, and the sign up will be on my Discord. So make sure you join there. And there's a lot of good stuff coming. We still have tons to discuss when the patch notes drop, hopefully soon. And I hope people are pretty happy about this. Just know that EHG is looking at the numbers. They're trying to do their best, and they're trying to deliver the best possible product. And I think this cycle 2 is going to be a huge step in the right direction. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And look at that. This is a 22-minute video. No breaks, no edits. Hey, that's pretty good. Please like, share, and subscribe if you think I've earned it. Join the Discord to get into that community event. The sign up is coming later this week. Best way to support is always Patreon. And don't forget, today, Wednesday, the 3rd of July, Town Portal podcast with me and Frosty LaRue interviewing the marketing director, the community manager of XD for Torchlight Infinite will be tonight. And that'll be on my Twitch, Aaron Action RPG. Hopefully you're entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.